Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MLG 2013 Spring Championship Kespa Starcraft2 Qualifier. This is Group C, and we are going to be casting the finals. This is the third set between Deer and Jangbi. Currently tied 1-1. The winner of this will advance and go to MLG Anaheim later on in June. Now spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the blue Protoss from STX Seoul. His name is Deer.
His opponent from Samsung Khan spawns in the left top position of the map. His name is Jangbi. He spawns as orange Protoss in the 11 o'clock position.
So looking back at that last game, Jangbi, I feel like he had a nice advantage and he could have won, but his control fumbled at certain times. He had a unit advantage that he couldn't completely take advantage of, and he lost a lot of his workers throughout the course of the game.
The biggest problem is he tried to go for the forward blink at the ramp, trying to snipe the Immortals, except he did take out the Immortals, but he lost a lot of Stalkers, which prompted for a counterattack. And Jangbi was not paying attention inside this main base with the Phoenixes ripping apart every single probe that he had. Yeah,
I really like how effective the Phoenix were actually for Deer, so he did a really great job at using those Phoenix and utilizing their potential.
So this time around, I have a feeling both players are going to try to go for a macro game, given the fact that they cannot risk anything anymore. Jangbi in the previous game, he could have tried to go for, one base all-in against his opponent, or try to go for really aggressive play, which he did. It didn't work out as much, so now he's forced back to play a macro game, and Deer, he cannot risk it. Both players are down 1-1, and whoever loses goes home, or stays home.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere.
Whoever wins is going to MLG Anaheim.
Looking at the build orders here, we do have identical openings. We could potentially see Deer going up for up to 3 gas instead of 2 on each of those simulators there. We'll have the wait and see what they plan on doing here. And nope, looks like it's okay. Now we have 3 being added on for Deer. And
so getting slightly more greedy than your opponent, really nice. It really depends on when you start out with the 2 probes inside the main geyser, and it really depends on when you start adding more probes to the geyser.
Deer going to be the first one to scout, and he is going to scout into the right direction as well. And this is going to be pretty nice for Deer. He's going to be able to kind of, just assess what Jangbi's up to. He may even be able to get a good look at the tech choice for Jangbi as well, and kind of, use that to his advantage. Looks like Jangbi is going to actually take an early expansion here, going for the Nexus off of 1 gate. And does Deer scout that?
I think Deer might have seen it right now because he's pulling back his probes from the natural. He does have a Zealot out here, however, which means that he's going to try to harass his opponent early in the game.
Oh, okay.
Also double checking to make sure there's nothing hidden over there. And building a forward pylon. This is really nice from Deer.
Wait, do you think we could actually see a 4-gate?
We might.
There's a very, very small possibility.
There is a small possibility, but it's really crucial for Deer to take out the Mothership Core if he wants to go for the 4-gate.
Yeah.
So we do have a Zealot now. We do have a sentry being built from Jangbi, but that's only going to be 2 or 3 sentries. And we have a forward Stargate. I really like this play. This is impromptu play from Deer, but only after seeing the Nexus from his opponent Jangbi.
Yeah. All right, so I think this time around we're actually going to see that style of play where you go for the 2 oracles, you get the 3 gateways up, and you try to hit your opponent from both sides and annoy them, and then you go for a full-on frontal attack to finish them off. We actually saw Jangbi use this against Rain in Pro League recently, and he was able to grab the win with it. So this time around, Jangbi's going to be on the defensive, on the offensive.
Yeah, and that one Zealot just going to try to harass and try to force the Mothership Core energy cannon at the natural right now, but he doesn't have enough energy right now. Yeah, 99, 100.
Sentry should be able to help defend against that anyway, though. But Deer doing a great job just continuing to put the pressure on his opponent. We do have the Oracle on the way here. The 2 additional gateways are under construction. And, yeah, those units, they're just there to annoy Jangbi, nothing else. Yeah,
Jangbi's being really smart right now. He knows what his opponent is exactly going for. That's the reason why he didn't throw down any Nexus Cannon at the natural.
Yeah, Jangbi also grabbing 2 additional gateways here. He needs to play against this perfectly. If you falter in your defense, you'll fall too far behind and just end up losing to your opponent here.
The Oracle goes inside the main base. Nice Nexus Cannon at the natural. That's going to force away the main army, but the Oracle is ripping apart on these probes. 4 kills, 5 kills on the single Oracle.
Very nice work from Deer here. He's gearing up for a very nice, strong one-base timing push here. The second Oracle completes. I have a feeling he's going to wait until the Nexus Cannon goes down and then just try to end it.
Jangbi, he can still defend against this. He needs perfect split of his units. He needs maybe like 3 or 4 stalkers back at the main base. And the rest of the army should be at the natural. He's going to get the first sentry, second sentry also gets taken out, and the Immortal also under fire right now. One Immortal does get taken out, but the second wave of units can actually kill Jangbi.
Yeah, the Oracles already did their job here, and without the sentries for defense, the Nexus Cannon is down. Deer's going to press forward and try to go for a big attack on this expansion here. He may even try to move up the main base, but we do see a sentry there ready just in case that happens.
Jangbi, knowing what his opponent is going for, he's going to give up the natural base no matter what.
And a few Stalkers moving up here. They're going to make sure that sentry is picked off. A little bit sloppy from Deer.
But there's also one by Absols inside the main base of Deer right now.
Nexus falls as well. Jangbi, though, doing what he does best, which is run by Zod. So there's an Oracle here for defense, and Deer actually just warps home.
Yeah, he did his job right now. All he wanted to do is cancel the natural expansion from Jangbi. Now, Jangbi, he is behind, of course, because his Nexus has been taken out, but he needs to make sure he takes up the island that's outside of the main base, and it's still not over for him yet, because Deer has been playing so aggressive to a point where he did not take an expansion for himself behind this.
Yeah, Deer is supply block, though. He's going to have to go ahead and build a few more pylons here. That's what he's doing. Oracle in the main base of Jangbi. Going to try to do a little bit of harassment here, but the Stalkers do scare it off. Looks like that Oracle may have actually been picked off as well. Jangbi remaking his expansion. No base yet, though, from Deer. He may just try to do a bust once again. Yeah,
well, this time around, there's going to be a lot of Void Rays, and Jangbi, he's dumping all of his gas into Immortals.
Yeah, and Void Rays are pretty good against Immortals. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's quite true, man.
Just a little FYI for you guys.
That's quite true, man. So if Deer pushes in and takes out every single anti-air from Jangbi, which is only 3 Stalkers and 2 Sentries, this can do a lot of damage once the second Void Ray comes out.
All right, Deer is going to go for another attack. He's got a lot of Zealots in the mix. He's got a good Stalker backbone, Sentry, and also he still has his Oracle alive. The Void Ray as well added into the mix, and Jangbi almost certainly going to be forced to cancel this expansion here. There's no way that he's going to be able to keep that, and Deer just continues to get farther and farther ahead of his opponent. Jangbi now backed against a wall here.
I'm still a little bit surprised that Deer, while he's taking a nice lead against his opponent, he's just squeezing out as many units as possible and trying to make this attack work.
All right, now he's grabbing an expansion.
Okay, that's nice.
The Zealots here may actually end up doing an annoying amount of damage. Deer going to need to warp in some units or retreat with a bit of his army in order to deal with them.
Yeah, well, he's not going to. He's retreating some of his main army, but also Stalker warping inside the main base, and few Zealots are already there to defend against a single Zealot.
Yeah. So Deer will be fine against this attack. It's annoying, but not going to do anything crucial to him.
Yeah, and look at this. If you look at the positioning for both players, Jangbi, he's doing a nice harassment over here, but he cannot move down the ramp. And Deer already has a sentry over there, and there's nothing that both players can actually crush the force field with. No Archons, no Colossus whatsoever.
Well, I like that for what both players are doing here. Jangbi, he's getting Blink right now to try to get a break out of this containment. And Deer, on the other hand, he just was doing a lot of really excellent scouting with that hallucinated Phoenix to see if his opponent... Okay. Botched force field there, but I think it does the job against those Stalkers.
Yes.
Zealots could get through, though.
Zealots can get through, but it doesn't really matter, as Deer right now, he just wants to delay the expansion as much as possible.
Yeah, it looks like that expansion will finally begin here. And now we have Deer. He's ahead in probes. He's got a lot of powerful units here. He's got some Void Rays. He's got Stalkers, Zealots, the Oracle as well. Still kind of hiding around the map, being useful where needed. And the Proxy Stargate is scouted, so the Pylon will get picked off as well as the Stargate. And even though Jangbi's lost a lot of units here, it looks like the Oracle was picked off as well after killing a few probes. But, you know, even though he killed off the... Jangbi did a lot of damage, there was so many pylons and now the Stargate that have actually been picked off by Jangbi. So I think this game, yes, Deer has a really solid advantage here, but Jangbi's not out of it just yet.
Jangbi is definitely not out of it, but he also needs to make sure that he doesn't press too much forward with the Blink Stalkers that he has right now. Because right now, it seems like he's gearing towards the attack, but that's 2 Void Rays. The Mother Support is already there for defense. So if Jangbi decides to push him with the Stalkers and loses every single Stalker, we might see the repeat of game number 2.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, man.
Yeah.
Jangbi, he lost the game by being too aggressive with the Blink Stalkers, and that's what he should not do this time around.
Yeah, well, all he should do is just poke in, See that there's no main army over here. Now he sees a main army. Okay, maybe pick up one Stalker and blink out right away.
Yeah. Pretty much the only thing Jangbi can do here.
Yes.
The worker count difference, though, really impressive for Deer. He's taken a 13 worker supply lead over his opponent here, and the supply advantage is just going to skyrocket for him momentarily. And, you know, it makes me wonder if Deer's going to try to go for a big bust on 2 bases, or if he's just going to bring it into the late game macro. Yeah,
well, for now, he's getting a double Robo behind this. He's getting a Forge and a Robo base, so he's going to try to drag it a little bit more, but also just scares away his opponent, because he knows that there's only Stalkers over there. There's nothing for Deer to be afraid of.
Yeah, and in this position, I actually really like the Robotech. It's going to make those Stalkers pretty useless. And also, Jangbi is so far behind compared to his opponent that he can't actually go for the Tempests this time around.
Yeah, well, Jangbi is going to have a Colossus lead once again, but that's only from 1 Robo compared to 2 Robo from his opponent. And Jangbi needs to make sure he blinks out. Does lose 1 Stalker, but it's okay. Not as bad as the last game where he lost every single Stalker to 1 Immortal.
And, I mean, I like Jangbi's idea behind this. He wants to still apply pressure despite being behind, to kind of keep his opponent honest and not trying to, you know, potentially move out for an attack anytime soon. But, ooh, nice. Hallucinated Void Ray there. That's pretty cool, actually. That may confuse Deer a lot and force him to kind of change up his army composition a bit.
Yeah, well, the thing right now is Deer's only committing to 2 Colossus right now. Double Robo, 2 Colossus, and yes, Jangbi did get the tech earlier than his opponent, but look at the upgrade difference. +1 is already almost done for Deer right now, and he's getting 2 Colossus at the same time, while Jangbi is only getting 1 with the second Robo just starting right now.
Yep. 124 supply, the 107, 3 additional gateways being constructed by Deer here, and it's making me think, you know, maybe he's going to go for a huge timing here.
In fact, we're 16 minutes into the game, and both player is not expanding. Jangbi, of course, he cannot expand at this point, knowing that his unit composition isn't as good as Deer's. Yeah. Deer, knowing that he's ahead in the game compared to his opponent, he should take a 3rd base, but it seems like he just wants to press on the advantage before both players max out.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I think that'd be a great idea from Deer. He could still easily take a 3rd expansion. He is moving units over there. He may end up doing that. He's going to build a probe over there, so most likely an expansion, and he still may be able to actually follow this with a big attack. The only thing he has to worry about is the Stalkers hitting him from behind or kind of moving into the natural or main base of Deer. And some Blink Stalkers still around on the map, jockeying for position. Not going to really accomplish anything right now, though.
Well, you talked about positioning. That's why it's crucial for Deer to have the Mothership Core with his main army right now. For now, Deer just making sure that there's no forward pylon that's been annoying so much throughout the whole game today, as the Cells were just walking inside the main base, Jangbi style.
Okay, the Stalkers moving forward here. They do discover this expansion. I actually kind of wish those Stalkers would focus firing on the Nexus, but they're going to go ahead and escape. No casualties from Jangbi's Stalkers.
Jangbi also following this up with the 3rd Nexus of his own.
Yeah.
While also getting the double Robo Colossus. So now, if you look at the unit composition, it's going to be similar between the 2 players. Jangbi is going to have the Archon advantage. However, Deer is going to have the upgrade advantage over his opponent.
I really like what Jangbi's doing here. He's playing from behind, so he's doing his best to just drag it into the late game, because if these armies max out, then pretty much the game's reset.
Yeah, and Jangbi is doing the fantastic job right now. Those Stalkers are just keep applying pressure. Of course, he cannot actually kill anything, but those Stalkers later in the game, they're just paper planes. You need to throw them away somehow, and just applying pressure, losing a few Stalkers here and there, okay.
Yeah. They're really just not the most cost-efficient units from the Protoss arsenal.
Nope.
And the late game, there's too many units that just kind of beat the crap out of them. The Colossus, the Void Ray, the Immortal as well. And Deer is going to move out on the map now. The supplies have actually evened out, so Jangbi doing a great job at coming back into this game here, using just really good game sense, micro, and defensive positioning.
Yeah, he's been doing fantastic, also catching up in the probe count, but he doesn't have that much ground army. In fact, both players, they have a lot of ground army tied up to the Stalkers right now, which is a little bit surprising since both players would try to go and try to blink into the main base, trying to sacrifice all the Stalkers so that they could trade the supply for tons of Immortals, tons of Zealots behind this.
All right, Deer now adding in a lot of additional Immortals into his army, getting some High Templar, the +2 attack completed, charge about to complete as well. He's getting a forward pylon down. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing Deer go for a very big attack here.
Yeah, well, we do have the Colossus advantage for Jangbi, but the Stalkers are slightly out of position.
Yeah.
And now it's going to come down to positioning. Deer has really nice firepower with the Immortals backing up right behind them. But Jangbi does have the Colossus advantage compared to his opponent.
Yeah. All right, we're going to have to see who ends up winning the fight here. I think the Deer's got a bit of an edge here. The Immortal count as well. 7-3, that's going to make a very big difference here.
Yeah, can he actually overcome the 3 Colossus difference between the 2 players? Look at this, Deer in the perfect position to attack into the third base, but also forces Jangbi out of position.
Jangbi forced the retreat a little bit here. The Immortals are going to charge forward. Don't forget the Void Rays as well can focus fire on these Colossus as well. And excellent time warp usage from Deer. Time and time again, he's used those to his advantage, but letting a few of the swipes from Jambi's Colossus go off on his units. The supplies right now 194 to 166 with Deer and a very large supply lead.
Yeah, and now Jangbi's going to press forward once again. Deer's Colossus doing a nice job melting all of these cells over here, which means that Jangbi is only going to have Colossus behind this.
Yep, Jangbi trying to equalize the supplies out as much as possible. He had really good positioning in that fight, but the problem was he was still just a little bit too far behind his opponent, and now down only to Colossus, 138 to 93 supply. Jangbi is on his last foot here. Deer pressing forward, and GG is called. The upgrade advantage for Deer helped him out so much. And with that, we have the MLG finals of Group C. Deer won, taking out Jangbi, and that means that he will get to advance to MLG Anaheim.